We all know and understand just how much our phones, devices, social media, gaming is taking up so much space in our brain. It's no wonder we feel scattered, disconnected, anxious, and really, really flat. I'm here to bring another one of my nervous system reset workshops to Newcastle. This one is on Sunday, August the 11th at 9:30 a.m. And it's a really short and sharp workshop in how we can understand what it looks like when we move from our safe state, our ventral vagal system, down the ladder to our spinal sympathetic, which is like tense and activated. It's mobilized with fear. We're ready to pounce and attack. We can be judgmental, critical, righteous, jealous, all of those things. But if we live there for too long, and if we kind of go on the hamster wheel of life, and we're always doing all the time, we're not looking after the basics such as sleep, food, digestion, movement, and breath work. If we're actually not looking after those very primal reptilian functions of our brain, then what happens is we as humans, we actually burn out and we shift down the polyvagal ladder further, one step down to what's called our dorsal vagal system. Now, our dorsal vagal system is also, it's a survival state. None of these states are bad, but we can't actually live in our spinal sympathetic state or down into our free state. Our bodies are not designed to live there. It is quite literally states, or they are quite literally states that are here to protect us when we're under threat. If we move down to our freeze-based state, our dorsal state, I call it the red zone, it means that we've actually gone numb. We're quite unresponsive. We don't feel anything. We can kind of have a dialogue around the world of, I don't know, I don't care, I don't want to be here, I feel really lost, everything's just gray. We walk around with our heads down, we don't make eye contact, the body is in full shutdown. And in both our dorsal states and our spinal sympathetic, because spinal sympathetic is in tension, the armor comes on and the psoas muscle links on and we get really, really tight because the body thinks it's running from a tiger. What actually happens is, of course, the digestive system doesn't work. Now, if your digestive system is not working, it actually means that you're on the road to inflammation, sickness, and dis-ease. And I don't need to go into that any further, but we will talk about that a little bit in the workshops. Now, when I deliver these workshops, I deliver a lot of workshops to kids and teens, and I work with kids and teens because they have a really challenging space at the moment with the addition of these mobile devices. And we've all seen everywhere so many kids on phones from such a young age. And what's actually happening is that our brain, it's the same as it always has been. It's evolved to look after us and to take in a certain amount of information and to process things. But with the evolution and the speed that technology is moving forward, our brains actually can't handle the amount of information coming in. And between 2010 and 2015, we moved from a play-based childhood to a phone-based childhood, and we've seen so much escalation in mental health since then. And we know as adults how much we're struggling with our own anxiety and mental health issues due to so many apps, so many things demanding our attention. And our kids are dealing with about 3,200 TikTok swipes a day, and the same's on YouTube. They're just flicking through, which means that their brains are not processing the information, and we're teaching ourselves to be distracted, which of course, not only with the body's position hunched over shoulders, right? The body is in a closed position. We're communicating to the body there that we're actually not safe, but with so much coming in, we're actually just literally keeping ourselves absolutely whacked. And as I said, we cannot live in that fight-flight system. We just can't do it for too long. The body will actually burn out. And for many of our kids and our teenagers, what's happening is they're moving down to their freeze state and they're living there. And of course, when we're there, all we do is numb. So we pick up the phone even more. Now, that's where we see a lot of the behaviors and the addictions come from, because we're actually not able to be present in our free state or in our spinal sympathetic. We actually can't change neural pathways to become aware of our behaviors, to actually make the choice to choose something that serves us more, that's better for our highest self. So hence why big tech are absolutely killing it over us. They know what they're doing. They are designed to provide, they are providing us with these apps and gaming products and so many new things, including things like Apple Vision Pro, to keep our attention away from our intentions, which means that we're just allowing ourselves to get sicker and sicker and become a product of our environment. Our job here as humans is to recognize this, to recognize what your body is doing, to recognize the dialogue that you speak to yourself, and to understand what what it looks like, sounds like, and feels like when your body shifts from a present state, as in a ventral state, down the ladder to your spinal sympathetic, your orange zone, you're mobilized, or if you've gone down the ladder further to freeze. And that's what these workshops are all about. So the next one, as mentioned, will be on Sunday, the 11th of August at Infuse Health. And there's many others that do unfold. I also do talks in schools on this kind of thing, and I also do a term-based program. So if you are interested to come along and learn a little bit about the body, so it's quite a fun workshop, and it's designed for teenagers and up, but anyone from the age of 8 or 10 can come along, and we actually learn to understand, just get into depths about the body. Your body will always be your biggest teacher, and it's telling you everything you need to know. Our job is to listen. Our job is to tune in and understand when we are bumped in our autonomic nervous system and what we can do to help return the body back to balance. Pretty simple, but the world out there tells us we need to fix it some other way or look for something outside of us to fix what's going within us. The thing is, these bodies of ours are incredibly smart, they're beautiful, and they're freaking amazing, and they will be your superpower. And we'll be really bringing in and honing in on how important breath is to help you settle your autonomic nervous system. And this practice of the breathing is a very simple breath practice that you can do, and it's was shared to me by some of the teachers of the polyvagal theory, Stephen Porges, Stanley Rosenberg, and Deb Dana, that actually stimulates your vagus nerve, and it communicates to your body in any moment that you're now safe, even if the moment is difficult, so your nervous system can settle, you can access the prefrontal cortex of your brain, and you can choose again. We have to make a bit of a stand as humans about how much we're letting our devices, social media, and gaming take up all of these beautiful moments in our life, but to recognize how much they're actually changing our bodies. Like anything, what we practice is what will grow, and if we continue to hold our devices in front of us and sit in cafes and choose to be on our phones, not make eye contact with other humans, bend over our devices and spend 8 hours a day on them, well, guess what? We're simply going to become that product of the environment. We're going to become our phones. We're going to become sicker and sicker. We're not going to be able to make present choices. We're going to feel shit in our bodies. They're going to feel closed. We're going to feel numb. We're going to feel so disconnected that before we know it, it'll be a totally different world. I'm really passionate about this stuff because our bodies are everything, and they're with us for every single moment. And our job is actually so easy. It is just to tune in and listen. So even today, make a conscious choice just to put your phone down for, maybe even an extra hour. To use that time for yourself, to look up, to have gratitude, to have a conversation, to give someone a compliment, to actually check in, place your hands on your body and ask yourself what's actually going on today. And if you can do that consistently, you start to tune back into this and you recognize that you have all you need to know to move forward. So if you'd like to come along to any of these workshops, please feel free to get in touch. The link will be either in the bio or of course down below in the comments. And if you are interested in my school programs, you can head over to watchyourlanguage.com and have a look at the term-based programs and also the keynote talks that I deliver in schools around social media, our self-talk, and our autonomic nervous system. I hope to see you there.